As the tropical nights begin, many people are coming out to the Han River. Yes, that's true. Oh my, this is a very sweet and refreshing watermelon salad. Sharing it with the family and chatting makes the heat go down a bit. Recently, over 200,000 New York Times readers conducted a survey to determine the best movie of the 21st century. Which movie do you think took first place? Could it be an American movie? No, it's our director Bong Joon-ho's movie, Parasite. Really? Didn't it win the Palme d'Or at the Cannes Film Festival in France in 2019? Yes, it's the first Korean film to win the Palme d'Or. 30 years ago, when my family lived in France, we went to Cannes. At that time, I was desperately hoping that our Korean film would be nominated for an award. The thrill of receiving the Palme d'Or was indescribable. But in 2020, it also won awards in 4 categories at the American Academy Awards: Best Picture, Best Director, Best Screenplay, and Best International Feature Film. This is truly the recognition of our Korean film's outstanding creativity and artistry worldwide. Grandpa, aren't parasites just pests that live inside the human body, like roundworms?
Yes, parasites do not make any effort on their own, but they attach themselves to humans and live by stealing nutrients. That's why I used to take Helminthix once a year when I was young. There are other types of parasites that parasitize their hosts too. For example, mushrooms and molds are parasites, and mistletoe is a parasitic plant. Father, what is the theme of the movie Parasite? The class gap between the upper and lower classes. There's also economic and social inequality. That's right. Mr. Kitaik's family lives in a dark semi-basement. However, the Park family lives in a spacious and comfortable mansion. But the gap between the rich and the poor is stark. Yeah, I was curious about the semi-basement room too. So, I went to see the movie location set up in Goyang City with young men. Now, even foreigners are curious about semi-basement and come here a lot. When I went inside, I could see the street outside vertically from the window and the area below. The window was dark and had a musty, moldy smell. The Kitek family all got jobs at the wealthy Park family. First, his son Kaiwoo faked his college degree and pretended to be a college student to tutor. Second, daughter Ki-jung lied about her career as an art college student and became a counselor. In short, it is a challenge to the authority and system of society, and also blurs the line between right and wrong. That's right. It shows power dynamics and a desire for control. But the poor Kitek family is not the only parasites that depend on the Park family. The house had a secret basement built as a bomb shelter, and the former housekeeper's husband hid there for several years, never to be found. Yes, I was also surprised to see another type of parasite. Yes, I was shocked too. The conflict and discrimination between classes are vividly depicted. A shockwave of distortion and uncertainty followed the poor, lower-class families. Then, the shockwave finally seeped into the wealthy upper-class families, reflecting the current state of our society. So, the poor Kitek family and the ancient housekeeper family are the only parasites? The wealthy CEO Park family also relies on the labor of the people, and so the upper class maintains its luxury and comfort. So I think these are parasites too. That's right. So, in the past history, the nobles and servants also lived as parasites without any effort on their own. Are these interclass conflicts simply a result of economic inequality? No, I think it's also due to social conventions, misunderstandings, and prejudices. Oh, it's almost time to catch the Hangang Bus we reserved. Let's go from Jamsil to Magok in the northwest. It's currently a test run, and will start full-scale operation in September. When I got on board, the night view of Seoul is really beautiful. Anyway, the movie Parasite succeeded in provoking social discussion, right? Then, how can we change this parasite society? It's sad to see the lower class struggling to survive. However, it is unjust to violate social order and norms by deceiving others with lies. Yes, if injustice and corruption are rampant in this society, it will become a living hell where people do not trust each other. Grandma, did you work hard and easily get a job or a house when you were young? Of course. We worked hard to make a living. That's right, but these days, young people are really pitiful. Even after graduating from a top university and working his entire life, it's so hard to buy his own home. So, Father, how can we solve these social problems? First, we need to expand educational opportunities so that poor children can receive quality education up to college. And we need to create an educational environment that makes it easy to advance into society. Future generations need civic education that fosters creative and emotional development and allows each individual to develop their own individuality. The adage, a dragon emerges from a stream, should be widespread even now. Our country's creativity index is rising, so we will soon be in the top 10 in the world. Then, many new jobs will be created in the information industry, including artificial intelligence. Father, you mentioned civic education earlier, right? Isn't it important to have a sense of community among citizens who respect each other and live together? I hope we can live with a little consideration and understanding for our neighbors who are having a hard time. Cell phone rings. Hello. Oh, my brother just called. Dr. Choi, I have a question for you. My family's talking about the movie Parasite. Does the host only live off of nutrients exploited by the parasite? No. The host tries to change in order to survive by resisting the parasite. So he strengthens his resistance and becomes stronger against other diseases. In other words, when the parasite disappears, the immune system becomes too clean and abnormalities occur. As a result, the host overreacts and produces harmful proteins. So, are you saying that the host and parasite have a symbiotic relationship where they share benefits with each other? Yes, the Creator God's skill in creating the world is truly mysterious. Because God created us humans with the wisdom to maintain a proper relationship between hosts and parasites, and coexist. Then, Mother, is there a line from a movie that you remember as a famous line? Well, as a mother, I feel that Mrs. Kitag said, "Money is like an iron that smooths out the wrinkles in your person." He said, if I had a lot of money, I would be kind like a rich person. The first sentence was a metaphor, and the second sentence was a simile. They were impressive. Then, let's analyze the previous sentence according to the principle of creating vivid metaphor. Let's find similarities and differences between money and iron. First, the similarity between money and irons is considered to be making you look good. Okay, but the difference is already hinted at above. With this in mind, how about money smooths out the wrinkles in your character, but an iron smooths out the wrinkles in your clothes? Wrinkles are the creases that appear when clothes are wrinkled, or the appearance of a dark and twisted personality. You guys are pretty good. Well, let me combine this with your answers as a reference. The money you spend on dressing up is like an iron that smooths out the wrinkles in your personality. Wow, that's cool. As expected, the principle of vivid metaphors creates new images of our thoughts every time, and they flow beautifully into our emotions. Then, let's create one more metaphor related to the theme of this entire movie. Let's assume that two brothers like Hyungbu and Nolbu watched this movie. Yes, then the rich but stingy Nolbu tells Hyungbu, who came to get rice. Hyungbu is a parasite. Okay, so what are the similarities between the primary concept, Hyungbu, and the secondary concept, parasite? Yeah, how about trying to live? Okay, then Youngmin, what's the difference between the two? Yes, Hyungbu thinks of his family, and Parasite thinks of himself. Are you okay? Yes, that's good. The advantage of vivid metaphor education is that there can be many different answers depending on each person's personality. So let's combine these similarities and differences. Hyungbu, who struggles to survive, is a parasite who thinks of his family. That's really cool. Looking at today's social phenomena, I strongly felt the need to straighten out the wrinkles. It was a very meaningful meeting as we organized two vivid metaphors. Anyway, director Bong Joon-ho's film Parasite is a work of art that calls for change in our society in an insightful and creative way. Oh my, I arrived at Magok before I knew it. I want to go to the nearby Seoul Botanical Garden. and see various kinds of plants from around the world. If there are parasitic plants, I would like to see them as they are helpful for education. Anyway, the Hangang Bus adds to the romanticism of Seoul.